Hi, girl.
Hello,
Hello,
hello.
hello. How are you?
I'm
I'm
fine.
fine.
How are
How are
you doing?
you doing? I am fine. I am fine. And I am so happy to be
I'm so
talking to you. I'm so
happy.
happy.
Wow.
Wow. Yo, it's been ages.
30
30
years. Do you
years.
realize
You
that?
realize that? Yo, it's been long. It's been long, but it's so good to see people that were once a big part of your life doing well, you know. And I am also honored to be having this chat with you. Sindiswa Zukani. I know you're Sindiswa Zukani, but I see now you also go as Rubik, you
Mm.
also go as Ukumkanikazi. But you've always been that person, very confident, very fierce, and self-esteem. So it's not even a surprise that you're doing so well for yourself. Thank you so much for joining me on this live chat. First time doing a live chat on Facebook. Thank you so much, Sisi, for making time.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you so much,
Ndombi.
Domi.
Yo,
Yo,
there's an
there's
echo.
an
So
echo.
when
So
I'm
when I'm
speaking, I
speaking,
need for
I
you
need
to
for you to
mute.
mute. Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's try that.
let's try that. Okay. So before we start, I have a channel called Courage to Continue. There's a story behind that whole Courage to Continue title. So when I talk to somebody, I would always ask them, Uguti, in their life, what are the three things that are giving them courage to continue? In Bilo is very tough, and it's not everybody that has the courage. Kubega, you fall, the
Mm.
courage of Pagama, a lot of things happen in our lives, and some people give up along the journey. So what are the three things that give you courage to continue empilweni, irregardless of what is happening?
Okay. I
I
think
think
I'm very
I'm very
intentional about
intentional
everything
about
that I want
everything
to
that I
do.
want to do.
What keeps me
What keeps
going
me
is
going
the
is the
values and the
values and the
principles
principles
that I
that I
set up
set
for
up for
myself.
myself,
And
and
being
being
intentional means
intentional
that
means
you
that
design
you
your
design your
outcome.
outcome.
So when you
So
design
when
your
you design your
outcome,
outcome,
you know
you know
exactly where your
exactly where
starting
your
point
starting
is,
point is,
your middle
your middle
part is,
part is,
and your end
and your
part
end
is.
part is.
So first of
So
all,
first of
it's
all,
being
it's being
intentional.
intentional.
Second of
Second
all,
of all,
I
I
care a lot
care a lot
about
about
who is
who is
watching.
watching. Mm.
So it's
So
also
it's
the
also
people
the
I do
people
it
I do
for
it for
rather than
rather
what
than
I
what I
do for
do
myself.
for myself.
So I
So
have
I have
children and a
children
lot of
and a
other
lot of
people
other people
around
around
that look up
that
to
look
me.
up to me.
I am a
I am a
community
community
worker.
worker.
I am a
I am a
social
social
impact
impact
specialist.
specialist.
I care about the
I care about the
community.
community.
So it
So
is
it is
how others
how others
receive me,
receive me,
who I do
who
it
I do
for,
it for,
other than what I
other
do
than
for
what I do
myself.
for myself. Mm.
And
And
the
the
other
other
third
third
thing as
thing
well
as well
is
is
the greater
the greater
cause
cause
that I
that I
feel I
feel
am here
I am
for.
here for. This is
This is why I'm saying
why
I'm the
I'm saying I'm
Rubik.
the
It's
Rubik.
because I'm
It's because I'm
multicolored.
multicolored.
I believe
I
that I'm
believe that
here
I'm
in this
here in this
world
world
to attain
to attain
anything that I
anything
set my
that I
mind
set
to.
my
It doesn't
mind to.
matter
It
what
doesn't
it
matter
is.
what it is.
The fact that
The
I was
fact that I was
born,
born,
that
that
was a
was
cause.
the cause.
I became
I became
a gift. I
a
believe I'm
gift.
a
I
gift
believe
to
I'm a gift
everybody.
to
I believe I'm
everybody.
a
I
gift
believe
to
I'm a
my
gift to my
family. I'm a
family.
gift to
I'm a gift
society
to
in
society
different
in
aspects.
different aspects.
So
So
I
I
believe
believe
that
that
cause,
cause,
I have to
I
fulfill
have to
it.
fulfill it.
It doesn't
It
matter what
doesn't
it
matter what
takes.
it takes.
So
So
those are
those
the
are
three
the
things
three
that
things
set
that
me
set
on
me
a
on a
path
path
and blaze
and
my
blaze my
own
own
trail to
trail to
understand
understand
why I am
why I am
here.
here.
And it's very
And it's very
important that I
important
do
that I do
fulfill that
fulfill
cause.
that cause. Yeah, that's deep and that's powerful. Okay, I'm getting comments that I think it's the echo that you're talking about.
It
It
is
is
the
the
echo.
echo. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if I should put on headsets. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe it'll sound, it will take away the echo. But I and okay. Okay, hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. No
Okay.
more echo.
No more echo.
Yeah, it was a
Okay.
surround sound, I suppose. And I was also battling to hear myself. So I just thought there in the last answer.
Yeah, okay. And Tabi, can you guys hear us now better?
I
And
think
Tab
I think they can. Can somebody just confirm if you guys can hear?
and Tabi and Lungiswa, can you guys hear better now? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not hearing any feedback. So I don't know, maybe I should just go back and repeat the answer that I gave for the
Yeah,
masses to understand. Okay. Lungiswa, so you're fine. No echo. I think they can hear us.
okay. It's better. Try and balance this
Yeah.
now. Right. So
Okay.
now I'm just gonna have to balance because now if I get it's not the cordless earphones.
Mm.
Yeah, deep answer, I must say. Maybe just reiterate for the sake of those that didn't get that because it was quite deep.
Okay. So they're saying there's no echo. All right. So you asked me what it is that keeps me driven, right? What it is that I wake up in the morning and keeps me going, keeps my focus. And I said that first of all, I become very intentional about anything that I do. So when I set a path and I blaze my own trail, I become very intentional so as to never waste any second because time is life.
Mm,
Um, Time is life. In those people that believe in the Abrahamic faith, they would then say that their creator would say, I cometh that you have life and you should have it more abundantly. So in Abraham, those who believe in that kind of faith would then understand, and this is an example, this is by no means any religious reiteration, but it's just for the purposes of the example, is that when you then ascend to the other realm, after you then live your, I mean, after you get over your own living, breathing life, is then when you get there, you know that in Abrahamic faith, it doesn't say that I come up, that you should have um, time. It says, I cometh that you should have life. So for me, I value every single second as important. So the reason why I become very, very intentional is that it keeps me focused. I understand very well what it is that I'm here for. I set,
mm,
I design my own thoughts so that I can design better conversation and better output. I'm very intentional about my output. So what it is that I put in is what it is that I put out, you know. And my grandmother, God rest her soul, Umampela, used to say to me, Yeka, amasela omfula angole, yika amanzi wenu goduke. Meaning the
mm,
outer, it means that the outer influences should not interrupt your cause, you know. So this is what I do. And then
wow.
second of all is I watch what it is that I do it for. You know, a lot of people have this connotation about I can't be and all of that. Yes, I do understand that, but I do care about bazawuthini. But abantu who matter, you know.
Mm,
So those who matter will mind, and those that don't matter won't mind. That's what I say. For every place, for every outcome or destiny that I do design, I believe about those people that are watching. I have to do it for myself. I have to do it for my children. I believe in building legacies. So everything that I do is counter related to me designing that income because it no doesn't only affect me. It's a legacy that I want to build for others that come around me. Other than my closest family, I'm a community worker. I've been in corporate social responsibility for about 15 years, if not 20, because I've been doing it so ad hoc and all over. And that solely means that I have the responsibility for a social return. While a lot of people can garner a lot from the company, I want to have a social return, meaning I want to garner people's competencies, their loyalties, their hard work, and that they do receive what it is that I'm trying to do. So I wake up every day wanting to make a difference professionally, personally.
Mm,
This is just what I do. It's just in me. And the
mm,
last part, where I said it influences me a lot, is that I believe that I'm a gift to the people. And being a gift to the people, I'm a gift to myself. And what happens is then I have innate conversations with myself to say, "Andivuka namhlanje," being a gift, then it must be a cause. I am not here for any other reason other than being a thoroughbred. I am thoroughly bred. I believe uba ndize apha for no other reason other than to fulfill every intention of my birth. Every time that I sit here, whether ndahlelwa okanye andihlelwanga, but the fact that I'm here is a cause and it's a gift and it should not be taken lightly. So this is what keeps me going. Uba, you know what? There's a greater cause. Anything that surrounds me that does not feed into that cause, that does not factor into the growth of that cause, means it's totally unnecessary. That is not for me to focus on to. I need to focus into what feeds into the growth of me fulfilling that cause. It's big, and this is why I call myself the Rubik, just to explain to someone. So the Rubik is a Rubik's cube is a multicolored cube that you
mm,
twist and you twist and you twist around. I don't know what we used to call, like as growing up, we had toys,
mm.
um, conventional toys and unconventional toys. That one could be disseminated by those that are intellectual, those that understand about how to do it. And it took a while to figure out. If not,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't figure it out, but it's beautiful. It's complicated. It's a mess. This is what
Mm.
describes me altogether. Beautiful, beautiful mess, intellectual, highly complicated, but once assembled together by those that want to assemble it and that get it, you get a beautiful, beautiful assemblement of colors. So this
Oh,
is
wow.
exactly that.
That's beautiful. And then something else that you do, I think it's a foundation. You're a founder. I think
Mm.
it says, what is that all about?
Okay, so I founded a forum called Umi Says. Umi means mother in Arabic. And when I say Umi Says, it means that the mother declares the status quo of situations. Many a times, oh, mama don't have that safe space to tell the truth. I'm all about the truth. That you can sit there and be honest about how you really feel about motherhood or your kids. And there's never a time you can sit, okay, mom saying again, you to say, I go dustbin, yabantwana. You cannot throw your kids away, of course not. You have undying love for your children, but most of the time, motherhood can be tiring. And kids can drive us in any other path that we do not want to go to. Or Tata Babo, their fathers could do that. I want to have honest conversations so that we can have honest solutions. I don't like overselling myself, or I don't like that oversold sense of optimism that is overrated, whereby you sit there and you're not honest about how the path truly is. If it's challenging, it's challenging, then we offer a solution, we tell the truth. I sit there and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like being a mother. I don't want to be a mother today. It happened, but I don't want to. And it doesn't mean that I hate my children, but it's telling the truth. And when it's telling the truth, then it is hyper realistic. And if it's hyper realistic, then you can deal with it accordingly.
Hmm,
So Umi
deep.
says is a forum that encompasses all mothers from all walks of life wanting to tell the truth. It also empowers them economically. It also empowers them financially in terms of bringing across different types of information that they can then exchange. I bring in specialists that come and talk about unconventional ways of making money. Mothers who are not for a corporate, not all of us can be in the corporate world. Some mothers have an entrepreneurial streak. There are mothers who don't believe in studying. it will say, how do you balance it? It's okay not to be perfect for your kids. It's okay to be tired and not want to get out of bed sometimes. So it's honest conversations, that bear a lot of truth and honesty. So I have that foundation and I want to make it grow and I'm on a course to do that. 2025 is a great year for Umi says, for mental health and for fathers as well, so that we have conversations. We say, you cannot sit and decide about how is motherhood supposed to be described when you've never walked that path.
True. Wow. All the best to Umi says. I think
Uncle,
I will look it up more and see how I can also get involved because you've actually touched on a lot of things that are me. So I'm like having in a epiphany Obuti in somebody that is why we actually got
mm,
along even at primary school. Thank you so much. And onto the topic, I think when you suggested this topic, because initially I'd said let's talk about mental health,
yes.
and you
Mm.
said self-acceptance and body positivity. And I was like, oh, wow. And I think I agreed because then I sort of like saw Guti, in mental health, we get to such issues because we don't know how to accept ourselves. We have not accepted ourselves. And maybe we do not love ourselves. What is it? What is it to you? What is self-acceptance and what is body positivity?
So self-acceptance for me is then accepting your truth. Self-acceptance is taking yourself as you were designed to be, as you are, and being unapologetic about it. It's presenting yourself just as you are for the greater good of fulfilling the very purpose that I spoke about earlier on. It is not participating in the likability politics. And for me, self acceptance says you do not conform to the opinions of how other people feel about your appearance. Because beauty and appearance is an opinion. What I see as the beholder is not necessarily what someone else is doing. Beauty standards have lasted, or appearance standards have been either colonized from other countries to say women are supposed to look in that way because aboriginally or prehistorically that is what has been set on our mindsets, but this is how women are supposed to be. And how we conform to that then means that we are participating in those politics, of being likable. But then it says by who? And if I say it's an opinion, then it means no opinion is ever right because no opinion is ever right. So for me, body positivity is surpassing all of those opinions and presenting yourself for the gifts that you truly possess and not being affected by the connotations that are formed by people through their opinions of what it is that they think beauty is. Beauty has no standard, it doesn't have an equilibrium, first of all. It can lie in your spirit, it can lie everywhere. But most of all, it's important to understand that it's an opinion. And I think that body positivity and acceptance is different from self esteem. I like to define it a lot because self esteem talks too much about what it is that influences you inside toward the outward influence. But body positivity and acceptance is influenced a lot by the outward influence or what you think as well. That other people think, and then it starts influencing you. So for Mnake, those are the two things, self-esteem and confidence are totally different from it, but it's accepting your truth, essentially, and putting it out there, making it the best as it is, unapologetically.
How would you say then it links to, because as you're talking, it
Mm,
links to self-awareness because I have to first be aware, I would think, ne,
yes,
of maybe those areas that I am struggling maybe to accept about myself. So how would you say it really links to self and awareness and ndiqalaphi? If somebody says to me, you have to be aware, what are we talking about? Because when we think masithi self-awareness, we're talking only good or positive things, or we're talking only
yeah.
yeah things. So what is this self-awareness, because I see I can't start accepting what I'm not aware of, what I don't know
Yeah,
about myself.
that is entirely true. Mm. It's very much aligned, and I'm glad you actually did pull this question up because then people start um saying, how is it that you're going to accept yourself if you're not aware of yourself? And once again, like I said, it is accepting the truth about yourself, the things that you cannot change versus the things that you can change. But most of all, those things that you want to change, it's very important to understand who you are changing it for and why. Awareness talks about your status quo, right? And in truly accepting your status quo and who you truly are and what you possess goes beyond beauty. It goes beyond beauty because then beauty is also then aligned to intelligence. You know, we have those people called sexual, you know what I mean? Whereby you are then entirely influenced or you are entirely attracted by the intelligence of a woman of women. And this is why we beauty pageants, you know, they've got the segment where they size your brain muscle and they ask you a question and things like that. I always leave the sensationalization of beauty pageants for us, or for it sending a message about women are supposed to be thin or women are supposed to have a flat standard or anything like that, to deduce it, you know, and disseminate to understand. But no, they are trying to say intelligence or anything that you possess that is of substance goes beyond beauty. So awareness is substance. You know, any woman can be a beautiful woman, but any woman with substance, you know, substance outweighs beauty. Why? Because beauty fades. Substance is something that you can take to the grave. And when you are aware of what it is, you take control of what it is that is accepted. I mean, what is it that is acceptable to you to influence how you feel when nangaphakathi. Being aware is
Mm.
understanding who I am, what I am of, whom I serve. And in that way, what any opinion is out there is really not going to influence me. I then decide how I serve myself to you and how I appear myself, or how I appear as myself to you. So how you receive it, share now, you know. So for me, awareness is that knowing your substance, basically, in its entirety.
It's very much a mindset thing.
It is a
Um,
mindset thing.
Mindset thing. It's a consciousness,
Yes.
and it makes me want I start feeling I'm a mother of a teenage girl. How do we then, because, Tina, as we are fixing, as we are healing, as we are dealing with our truth, as we are uncovering things, as we are doing all these things and trying to create new legacies, for our children, it is very important to then be intentional about assisting them at an early age. So because it's a mindset thing, what would you then, when I say where some of the things, or some of the things mhlambe with our generation and the generations before us, that maybe parents missed or were not really aware ukuthi, as time goes, they
Yeah.
affect positivity, they affect the self acceptance, and what can we do then, Tina, differently? Because I would imagine, even though my daughter is a teenager,
Mm.
should have actually started a long time ago, but it goes back to, do we know, are we aware of maybe ezinye izinto that were passed on to us unintentionally, ezinye probably by our parents, but that have made some of us singabi, not accept ourselves or not accept our bodies. I can make an example. I remember Ndandizwa Nyaman. And at those days, it had such, a negative and whatever thing. As
Mm.
times change, like you're saying, go to the external influences, the media, the everything, because we get told everything. Now we get told. Then there was
Mm.
an era, Yama dark dindu or dark and lovely, or then you start feeling
Yes.
better about this. Yeah, then you start feeling better about yourself because now kunabo Alek who are also dark. Oh, okay, therefore I'm also beautiful. But
Mm.
then now see, change your foot. There's an era of my yellow bone, then there's an era of women putting amabams, there was an era of thin is the in thing. So it's a mind thing. If umtana ekuliswe, a child was raised to
Mm.
understand that it's not about yonke lento. How do we do it at an early age so that our kids are not having to, like us, go back and fix so many things. And ukulungisa ingqondo is a hard thing. To unlearn is a very difficult thing.
Oh,
How do
yes.
we get it right from an early age for our children?
Okay. I love the fact that you use the word consciousness. Consciousness is a state of self-knowledge. A consciousness is a movement that you push, the consciousness. And then there's subconsciousness, which is then that we are able to influence. And the problem with the power of the subconsciousness is that it is underlying, yet it takes a lot of time to influence and to also not influence, to unlearn certain behaviors. So, what I love about the fact that you then embarked on, you turned the conversation and you steered it in this direction, is that we need to have those conversations with our children as early as them beqala preschool. As soon as they start interacting with other children, this is when classism starts.
Mm.
This is when interactions and conversations start. And this is when the subconscious becomes very, very, very adaptable. And children's sponges are children's brains are like sponges. They are able to absorb faster than any other one. That's why you find 3-year-olds can learn a language faster just for being in an abode of people speaking another language or a culture or anything like that. Whereas it's more difficult for an adult to be able to bend or to be dependable or flexible, and then sit and be and come with the territory in terms of blending in to any cultures or anything like that. So influences again are from parents. If you check, a lot of the things that made most sense were ones that came from your parents. Your parents become the most influential people in your life, other than abanye abantu ngaphandle. They're the first adults that you have an interaction with, and they're the first people who influenced you in such a way that whatever it is that they say, because of the amount of weight that they weigh kuwe, this is what you will take more than anything, which is why it's important to teach that to our children. And if you check parenting from ixesha lethu, to our Gen X kids, is very, very different. This time it's very fast paced. They have a lot of influences out there, technology, all of that. We then took time to conversate. We had nothing else but ourselves. We had nothing else but conversations. We could have core conversations. But the challenge with that is our parents did not do that much. If you check, we are more talkers to our children than abazali bethu. And if you understand, our parents had more pressures than we are right now. Well, it certainly depends. The majority is they then had to go and work, come back and fend for abazali. And Tina, we bear less children than our parents used to. Our parents could have like 12, 10 children. Tina, with the time, because of the state of the economy right now, because of the consciousness that we have, and because of women have more opportunities now, we work, we don't stay at home. My parents used to stay at home, so they could afford to have 6 children. And if you have 6 children, by the time you finally like the fifth one or anything like that, you really do not have that time. So the gaps were also there. And I'm speaking from experience, like I was a fourth child, and I could hardly even have a heart to match with my mother because she was so busy trying to see to us. And when you've got so many children, you can only attend to the basic necessities. Whereas it becomes more personal if you have like a fewer amounts of children, and I feel Uba, we know more than our parents. The world is gravitating towards having a more knowledgeable sense of adults. And because we also understood these things from a much younger time, I say the same truths that we knew back then but could not communicate to our children. We need to change that for abantwana bethu because they need to trust us first before they trust other people. And the problem with the subconscious is that it lies there unintentionally building up, and a certain connotation then stays in it, which is hard to unlearn, as you've said. So if you instill it in your child that, you know what, you are beautiful in your own way, because we are different. Otherwise, we would all look the same. Do not go in and participate and try to be likable, and try and bend in with what is deemed acceptable to the society, because at the end of the day, nothing is. If you really check it, nothing really is. There is no standard when it comes to beauty. So I think we must just tell the truth about beauty standards and what they mean. Tell them
Yeah.
about things that influenced you, that you couldn't talk to anybody, but affects you kamdala. And a lot of people like to say, yo, but the Rubik when I confident, I actually I am not shy, but I'm not confident either. I speak very well and wasaba mesabantu, but I'm not confident. This is the thing. And people don't understand. And that was influenced by what happened back in the day. And all I had, if you check my esikolweni, was that smartness. I was like that number one kid,
Yes.
obepasa kakhulu, but I was not popular for being beautiful. And coming back from home, uba clever was my escape. Naturally fine, I was smart, but books and saying, you know what, I will do this Galendlela, because coming from home, I was also dark from the lighter siblings, and I was made to believe I'm ugly. And growing up, I understand, and my melanated skin is a currency. It makes me unique, and I'm unique from all of these people, and I valued being different. I valued being the first. I valued not being conventional, and this is what I tell my children all the time, Uba, don't be afraid to be different. So let's talk to our kids, Oli. Things that we wanted to hear, sibancinci, that affect
Mm,
us, sibadala. Yeah.
true. So, would you say um the lack of self-acceptance and body positivity affects women more than it does men? And it's an assumption from me. Mhlambe because I'm a woman
Mm,
and I interact more with women, or at a closer level, so you would know how your friend feels
mm.
about a certain part, yeah, but okanye certain things that they have not really accepted about themselves. Is it something that we have struggles with more than men, or okanye maybe bona ngoba bathethe? What has
Yeah.
been your observation?
My observation is that women suffer a lot from lack of self acceptance and awareness, mostly because I think those beauty standards have aboriginally, or since the beginning of time, been spoken to women rather than men. And for Amadoda, I feel that for men, beauty, that's why Betty is in the eyes of the beholder. Most of the time, the beholders are our men. And I believe ukuthi amadoda have a lesser threshold, or lesser, what should I say? They their bar of intelligence, of their bar of